Hey everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video where we're going to go and do another one of the Patreon soap design challenges. For this month I asked my patrons to name a liquid alternative that I could use to replace some of the water in my soap making, and I put everyone's suggestion into a soapy jug, and the one we drew out came from Mel, who runs M Body Care here in Australia, and I've left some links to her business down below in the description box so you can go and check it out. Now the name may sound familiar, and that is because Mel also won last month's design challenge draw, and I promise it is all randomly drawn and my patrons can actually see me do the drawing live over on Facebook, so it is complete luck that she's had it two times in a row. But Mel wanted to see me use orange juice, and this is something I have never included in soap before, so for that reason I did decide to actually only make a small bar of it so I could see how it behaves, and that's what we're going to go and do today. Let's go make my orange juice soap. So there's a few ways in which you can add alternative liquids into your soap batter. The first way is to do a full water replacement. So you would take whichever liquid that you want and dissolve your lye into it. But you do need to be careful with something like orange juice or even a lot of your milks, because of the sugars that are in it. If you were to pour your lye directly into this, you're going to get quite a few gases come off it. It's going to scorch the sugars, it's going to turn it brown, it's just not going to be very appealing. So if you do want to do a full alternative liquid replacement, the best way to do it is to freeze your alternative liquid, whether it be milk, orange juice, coconut water, or any of those. Freeze it and then gently pour your lye over it to dissolve it, and then you'll be able to add that cooled lye water into your oils. Now I actually don't have access to a freezer down here at the shop, so the way I like to do it is to do part of a liquid alternative and then I do a very heavily concentrated lye solution. So for my total liquid part to make my lye for this soap, I needed 290 grams worth of liquid, so I've split that up into 150 water and 140 orange juice. Now the reason I decided to do it in those ratios is that my lye that I need for this soap, it comes out to be about 137 grams, so I need at least 137 water to dissolve that lye into, and I do like to add a little bit more so I don't end up with too much of a concentration, because we are going to get water loss through the exothermic reaction. So I decide just to round it up to 150 to make my calculations easier. So I've got 150 water with my lye and my orange juice, and now what I'm going to do is pour my orange juice into my oils, and I actually selected a pulp free orange juice, not only because I actually hate bits in my orange juice, much to my husband's dismay because he doesn't mind the pulp, but also because I didn't want the pulp actually in my soap. So I've poured my orange juice in there so we know that we're not going to scorch any of the sugars with the lye, and then from here on in it is pretty much the same as how we make all of our soaps. So I'm going to pour my lye solution in here, we'll mix it up, and then we will split it out for some colours. I've been really careful about how I'm blending this because of the sugars which are in that orange juice. It is going to trace that little bit faster, especially if I don't have the right soaping temperatures. So I've basically brought it so that it is together. You can see, let me get my stick out the way here, you can see that it is holding together. If it's not actually at emulsion, you can actually see the oils splitting out of the lye, but you can see that it is held together. We're not quite at a light trace because I can't make my trace lines, so we're at a really good sort of stage for hopefully getting that work time. I can feel that the sugars are heating this up, so I will have to work a little bit quicker. I've just split this up. We've got some titanium dioxide diluted in some water, and then I have a nice dark orange. Oh, in this pot. And then in here, even though this is actually a really nice color, I don't think it's going to hold. So I'm going to put in some pumpkin orange just to give it a really pale orange background color. We'll get these all mixed in. And then we'll add in our fragrance, which I'm going to be using some sweet orange chili pepper because I really, really like that one. And then I'm going to make it into an exfoliating soap bar. So we're going to add in some poppy seeds because I really like orange and poppy seed together. So into my big bowl, I've got about 10 grams worth of poppy seeds, so that'll give it just enough exfoliation without too much. And then we've got our orange and chili pepper fragrance. Let's pour that in here. I've got a feeling we're going to be doing a plip-plop kind of pour today because this is starting to move. Hopefully this fragrance will loosen it up just a little bit. Let's get it all stirred in and then we will grab that mold. This one just smells so good. Because we are pretty much going for the whole plip-plop design, let's do an in the pot swirl. So we're just going to pour all of this color in and then we'll pour it straight into the mold and hopefully we'll get some really nice swirls going throughout. So I decided to put a chopstick through there because as I was pouring it, I didn't think I was getting enough movement of colors, but it was thick enough that we should actually end up with quite a nice swirl. And there it is. We're going to leave this one sit overnight and we'll be back shortly and we'll cut it open and see what plip-plop swirls we got. So it's the next day and this is looking really, really nice. Loving the colors. It does have that really sort of funky smell that soap gets when you add things like goat's milk, oat milk and all of those sort of things. So hopefully that will actually dissipate as this airs out a little bit. I will keep you updated on that one, but usually those smells do disappear. So let's cut it open and see what we've got on the inside. Get rid of the end piece there. Let's have a look. And oh, I like the swirl on that. It is almost like I've done a sidewall pull and attempted to do a butterfly swirl, just the way that's fallen in there. Really love the colors that this has come up. And I'll be interested to see what happens with this white because it did go quite yellow when I was pouring it. It does seem to have come back into a bit of a white color as it's saponified. So it'll be really interesting to see how things go. The final pictures that I'll take final pictures of it that will go up on Instagram when this soap is ready. So you can always check it out there. But absolutely loving it. And I will try and do a lather test on this one because having the orange juice with those sugars in, it doesn't increase the number of bubbles, but what sugar actually does in a soap is it helps to maintain those bubbles, so it makes it appear to be bubblier because it is actually helping to hold all those bubbles in the soap. So I will try and do a lather test on this one so we can see what the orange juice does to the actual lather in here, but really liking how it's come up. I hope you've enjoyed watching how I made my orange juice soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one and I will see you then. Bye.